Shop smart, shop S-smart.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of New Book. Who Dis?
I am, of course, your host, DeathMetalHero, and with me is longtime friend and returning guest to the channel, Mr. W. Frank Walk. What's going on, brother? Good to see you, sir.
Up. You have one of the hardest intros ever, and I love it. It gets me amped every time.
Yes, that's the whole point. I want people to be fucking excited when we kick off this show, man. Right. 'Cause we're here to talk about comics, you know, and that always gets me excited. When I worked at the comic shop, that was always my favorite part. My regulars would come in, and you could tell the ones that were excited about the books that they were picking up because they get amped about it, and that's the feeling I want to get because you know indie comics are fucking cool, man. I want people to be excited about this shit, you know.
That's right.
Heck yeah, man.
By nature, it's punk rock is all hell. I mean, you're death metal hero and all death metal, but I mean, hey.
Hey, man, I dig myself some punk, too. I mean, I rock a mohawk, you know, kind of kicked off in the punk scene. So, you know, there's similar origins, you know, similar attitudes.
Oh, for
you
sure,
know?
for sure.
So, yeah, but you're not wrong, man. Indie comics are punk rock as hell. You know, that DIY spirit, you know.
That's right.
You know, fuck it, I'll do it myself. You know, that's the whole attitude. That's the thing I love about indie comics. You know, don't need a publisher. Don't need somebody telling me what I can and can't do with my fucking story. You know, just do it well and do it professionally and put it out there and let the audience decide. You know,
that's right.
And shit, man, that's what they did. You know, black and white indie comic boom of the '80s, the late '80s, early '90s. You know?
Yeah,
that was the thing. You know, indie comics, for those that may or may not know, granted, most of you out there listening probably do know, but indie comics are responsible for the Ninja Turtles, for the Tick, for the Crow. You know, those are just three huge examples that I can think of right off the top of my head. But like these huge IPs that are well known now, they started as indie comic books. You know?
Right. Sure did.
Fucking Ninja Turtles started out as a drunken joke between two artists.
That's one of the wildest and most amazing stories ever. Just the journey of the Ninja Turtles and Eastman and Laird, and just that's what everybody shoots for. Like, to capture that lightning in a bottle as a creator. Oh my god!
Yeah. You ever seen the what is it? The Turtle Power documentary of the Ninja Turtles, like the definitive history of the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I had never seen that. I stopped by Fraga's on my way home from Felines one time, and we sat down and we watched that. I was like, holy crap! I've never seen this before. This is amazing.
Oh, it's so good.
So, fun fact, and I'm sure some of you have heard this story, but when I lived in New Hampshire. My girlfriend at the time and I were looking for a new apartment to rent. And we looked at this place in Dover, and looking around, it's cool. It's got 2 stories. It's got hardwood floors and stuff. It's a pretty neat place, fairly decent space. Not huge, but it was really expensive per month. And I could not, for the life of me, figure out fucking why is this place so expensive? Fast forward years and years and years later, I'm on the internet and I see an article about how the original house that the Ninja Turtles was created in has been torn down and they put a parking lot there. And I saw a picture of the place. I was like, holy shit, that was the house. No fucking wonder it was so expensive.
Right.
So, yeah. Yep. So, you know, it's funny how you find out shit like that later. But anyway, we gotta jump in chat. Let's go ahead and say hello to the people. We appreciate you guys being here. First in the chat is Mr. Michael Rushbrook, whose alternate cover is the one I used for the thumbnail. Got to represent my boy. He says, yo, what's up, Team Merc Force? Yo, what's up, Michael? Good to see you, man. You fucking crushed it on that alternate cover, man.
Damn right. That thing's so awesome.
Yeah, it is. And there's my beautiful, lovely lady, Skull Gorgeous. retweeting an hour beforehand and then 5 minutes beforehand, letting people know that they need to get their ass in here and support this this conversation. Let's see. She says, "Hey, Frank." And then we got Pale Rider says, "I'm loaded, but I hit the like button." Well, we appreciate that, man. Enjoy being loaded, sir. Rushbrook saying hello, or saying heya. Then there's this weirdo. Got to watch out for him. He's crazy. What's up, Ms. Good Stuff? Good to see you. Thank you for being here and joining us. We got Oliver in the chat. What's up, Oliver? Good to see you, sir. Hope to see you in more chats soon, man. Miss you guys. I haven't seen enough of 656 around recently. You guys have been quiet. I know you making something good down there, but haven't seen you guys. Tokame in the chat. What's up, Seth? Hail to the room, chat, and panel. Good to see you, sir.
Hey.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. And let's see. Hey, there's this lady, Ashley Walk. She's got your last name there, bud.
Hey, wife.
Good to see you, Ashley. Thank you for joining us. Rushbrook says, Frank, congrats on getting fully funded.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Did that in the first 48 hours, dude.
That's
Fuck
right.
yeah. That's what I like to hear, man.
Me
and
too.
that does give kind of a boost for the algorithm, right? You know, getting funded that quickly.
Apparently. I mean, I haven't seen
It's what
it,
I've always
but-
heard. Anyway.
But yeah, you know, I think there's a little more to it behind the scenes as far as, you know, Kickstarter and how they feature things.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, Kickstarter is quite a bit different than Indiegogo. They actually have a section for comics. They actually care about comics because they've got a whole section of their website dedicated to it, as opposed to Indiegogo, which is mostly about tech bro stuff.
Yeah, well, Kickstarter just hired a whole new head of the comics division, so they're really trying to hone in on independent comic book creators and
Yeah,
that
man.
space and show us some love. So hopefully it works out.
Love to hear it, man. Yeah. What's up, good stuff? He says, what the French toast is going on here? We're talking indie comics, man. This is new book. Who dis? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for joining us. Feline was woohooing about you being funded, and that is always a good feeling. That way, you can roll forward with the production. So, aside from kicking off this new campaign, which we're going to talk about here in just a second, what you been up to, man? I know that there was a lot of prep ahead of this, but you had a campaign for the preview book beforehand, and so how did that go for you?
The book Zero, Echoes Across Eternity, launched the same time last year.
Yep.
That was a huge success. 178% funded on that campaign, which was great. And a lot of people liked it and wanted more. A lot of people understood what I was going for as far as the story, and they bought into it. And that's proved true, given I was funded in 48 hours on book one. So, right
on, man. That's fantastic. So people are picking up what you're putting down. They're digging the story. Well, I mean, I've read both of them, and they're good stuff, man. It's fun. I can see how this is going to build into an epic story.
Yeah, that's good because it's, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a slow burn, but it is more character driven. Mm-hmm. So it just ramps and ramps and ramps as we go deeper in.
Yeah, well, I mean, you gotta care about the characters if you're gonna go on an adventure with them. Yeah. I mean, nobody likes going on a road trip with people they don't enjoy being around. Those type of road trips are always really difficult. So why would you want to spend issue after issue after issue reading about people you don't like?
That's a good way to look at it. Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, gotta make them characters likable. You gotta give the audience a reason to care. Feline dropping the link to Frank's website there. You should definitely go check out all the cool shit that he's got going on his website. Not only you still working on your color program, yes?
Pigma Prism, yes, absolutely. That the app itself is actually done, at least for version 1. A marketable, presentable, functioning version.
Nice.
I'm just working with someone now on putting together a video demo package.
Heck yeah.
Once I get that figured out, then it's looking at next steps. Is this something that I want to try and kick off and crowdfund myself? Do I want to try and work with a partner on this that maybe has a larger marketable audience?
Right.
Or, what does that next step look like? I'm not sure.
Okay. Because looking at the demo that you sent me, it's a really fucking cool program.
It is so much larger than it was at that time as well.
I fucking bet it is. I can't wait to see all the stuff you've added to it, man.
Yeah.
So in the midst of all of this, campaign fulfilling and planning for the next campaign, working on the book, writing new stuff, have you gotten a chance to read anything? You reading anything good recently?
No, man. I still have the Space Ghost run, and I haven't even cracked that open yet.
Oh.
So I did finally make time to crack open because I went ahead and got the hardcover trades of The Last Ronin.
Nice.
So I did crack that open finally. I did read that. That's
Yep.
the most recent thing I read about 2 months ago.
Nice.
But even then, it's not like it's a new story at this point.
Right. Hey, man. You don't always get time to read when you're making stuff.
My TBR pile is about that thick.
I'm not even going to comment on how big my to-read pile is. I did get John Byrne's new X-Men book that he put out, the Hellstones, the fan story that he did, and that has been hailed as like the best X-Men thing to come out of Marvel in 15, 20 years. So yeah.
How do you feel it held up to that?
I mean, I haven't read all of it yet. I've read a little bit of it. I mean, it's like going back in time. It feels like reconnecting with old friends that I haven't seen in like 10, 15 years. It's really enjoyable. I mean, John Byrne always does fantastic stuff. I mean, I love his artwork, but he's a great storyteller, man. And getting a chance to, because I grew up reading X-Men, man. I would get the old trades of the X-Men books and read the classic John Byrne and Chris Claremont runs.
Yeah.
And, all that stuff, like leading it from the mid to late 80s into the 90s. I mean, that was my shit. That was my jam. And then, I kept reading X-Men throughout the years. And they tried for a while, but it kind of just dropped off at the beginning of the 2000s. Yeah. And there have been a few things here and there that were good, but by and large, I just don't even care about the X-Men anymore. And I feel like that's like the majority of people. I mean, they used to be this juggernaut, and they just don't really pull in the numbers like they used to. So
yeah, that's true. And they've always felt kind of separated from the larger universe as well, kind of on their own little floating island there.
Yeah.
And everyone is so much more, thanks to the movies and stuff, certainly, everyone's focus is on the larger pieces of Marvel. They're trying to do this X-Men thing. Hopefully there's a resurgence and hopefully it's good.
Well, I mean, X-Men 97 Season 2 just dropped. It's starting to drop episodes on Disney+. I've watched the first 4 episodes. They're pretty good. They're not as good. So far, the writing is... I can see where Bo DeMeo was still writing some of this stuff, but I can tell that they kind of went back in and played around with some of his scripts because he was let go from the show. And I'm just curious to see if it's actually going to be as good this season as as the last season. Last season I really enjoyed. This one they're changing a lot more. Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to watch adaptations because you know the stories and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Tokame is asking, what does the program do? The coloring, the color, Pigma Prism, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to talk about it a little bit. But also, go to pigmacast.com. There's a link that says Pigma Prism.
Yep.
Gives you a little bit of a breakdown there as well, and has some screenshots and stuff. But Pigma Prism is an app that I built for artists, specifically to teach and aid with color theory. Color theory can be a very scary subject. It's a very large subject, a very vast, deep subject. And as artists, a lot of the time, we just want to create, damn it. So
yeah.
I built this app to help with that. It allows for palette building within the app itself. It allows you to import an image. That way you can extract a color palette from that image. It'll give you the top 16 colors that are represented in that image and then rank them based on their usage amount. And you can build a palette around that. You can also get instant color harmonies. So you can get your contrasting colors, your quadrilateral color schemes, your analogous color schemes, all of that at the click of a button. You select green and then you hit show me analogous and it'll show you its analogous color complements. Aside from that, there's other features as well as a 3D light studio as well that replicates how light interacts with color. Allows you to change all the color variables and densities of light and brightness and saturation, all that. It's so awesome. I'm so stoked on it and can't wait to bring it out into the world.
It is a full-featured app, and I mean it was pretty robust when I saw like the beta version of it. So I can only imagine how awesome it is now. Oliver says, "Damn, that's a great app." See,
yeah,
Ollie's another amazing artist and colorist. He does all this stuff as well. So yeah, that you are the type of audience he's looking for with this app, Ollie. He knows that working professionals will get a kick out of this app.
Yeah,
they will
absolutely.
fucking love it.
Go to my website. There's actually a newsletter you can sign up for specifically for Pigment Prism. That way, as I have release notes and updates, you can kind of follow along. And if you maybe want to have a private demo or something like that, hit me up.
Yep. Heck yeah. Travis, what's up, dude? Good to see you. He says, "Congratulations, sir, on getting funded."
Yeah, thanks, Travis. I appreciate that.
What's up, Shelby? He says, "Check your Twix DMs. Sup, chat. Sup, Frank. Nice Shelby homage shirt. The Spider-Man #1. Yeah, totally. I mean, that Spider-Man #1 definitely homaged you, sir, for sure." Yeah. Apparently, good stuff is smoking a fish whistle. But he likes to say fish wrinkle. Okay.
Yeah.
The mainstream only focuses on regurgitated stories to ensure peak sales. Yeah, but they're not getting peak sales. So, same can be said of the video game industry. They kind of focus on the safe bets, and the safe bets kind of fall flat. So, yeah, it's an app that helps with color mapping, color palettes. And Oliver says, "Awesome, will do." Yeah, so that's just one of the many things that he's been working on. Frank has been a busy boy.
Such a busy guy.
Yeah, I mean, busy's better than bored, right? And you're doing stuff that you love to do. That's the important part. You're doing stuff that you love to do, and you're making comics. So Feline just dropped the link for Frank's website. Again, go hit that link after the show, and go check out everything he's got on his website there. So, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the campaign. Let me bring it up here. So while I bring this up, why don't you go ahead and tell people where the idea for Hellstones came from?
Yeah, certainly. So I've always been a fan of different occult things. Like Sandman. I like Crow.
Yeah.
Dogma, Red State. All these things that are religious or culty. I like the supernatural. I like the emotional stuff and stuff like that. And I'm also a D&D player. So when it comes to creative writing and character building, I love that shit. So one day I was sitting down and just doing a little creative writing to pass the time at work, and I was just writing a little story about this character named Sam, who was just this rough and tumble, like, badass chick character. And then kind of evolved from there. I was like, what would be a cool origin story and what powers would she have? And I just wrote a little one-page concept story. And that was back in 2015. And, years later, I get into the indie comic space as a colorist, and then, work on a couple of projects. We're going to book with yourself, Luke, and learn the production side of things. And I was like, you know what? I have this story from back then. I understand the production side of comics at this point. I should make this into a series. And lo and behold, that's what we're doing, baby.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Let's see. That didn't work here. Campaign share. All right. Let me just check the... Bring you back into this one. I'll replace the guest. We'll replace with Frank. There you are. Now we can see you. So Hellstones, and this is the first full issue. The first one was the 0 issue. Kind of gave you a little taste. But this is like the first full issue. How many pages is this one?
This is a full 24 pages. And then, plus the cover. So,
right on. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer. By the way, I like the fact that you have a trailer on the campaign. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, I don't even really look at layers or the trailers. I don't care about trailers." No. I think the trailer adds a lot to the cachet of a comic. Yeah. It adds to it. It kind of gets your appetite wet for the story. Kind of gives you an idea what kind of ride you're in for.
Absolutely does.
When Michael struck Lucifer from the heavens, his severed wings shattered and became 7 stones. Power scattered across time, whispering to anyone who dares to listen. I thought that was legend, until I held one. It pushes past fear and rewrites what your body can do. It changes you. I'm looking for my mentor, Gary. He taught me how to survive, how to fight, and why these stones can't fall into the wrong hands. If anyone can make sense of this, it's him. But the world's tearing at the seams. The Lightbringers preach salvation. Lucian Holdings sells tomorrow. They're chasing power they don't understand. I've stayed in the shadows, kept my Hellstone hidden. Now the hunt's back on. Mercenaries in the brush, lasers rake the leaves. Every step betrays me. This is where I draw the line. I've run long enough. It's time to jump into the fray.
Gosh, set the line. Heck yeah, dude. Dig it. So you did the trailer for this one as well?
This is one I did not. I did the trailer for 0, which was a lot of work. I had to learn a lot of different techniques. So I did the draft of this. I did the storyboard for this, and then I wish I knew the dude's name off the top of my head, but I hired a guy off Fiverr who was way more talented than me.
Dude, it turned out great. Yeah, pretty cool. Solid trailer, says Dokame.
Yeah, he understood the mission. I really wanted it to be a cinematic trailer, but also kind of have that feel of like the old school motion comics.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember when the first motion comics were rolling out, it was like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah. You remember when people thought it was going to be a thing?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of hoped it would. I mean, it didn't have to be the main thing, but it could have been like, this neat, like webtoons or something like that. They could have done motion comics on that. But we can use them for trailers now. Tokame says a good trailer will help sell the comic as being professionally made. It's essential, especially within the crowdfunding market. I agree. I agree. I
put just as much effort into the trailer production as I do the book itself.
Mm-hmm. Well, it shows. It shows, and the trailer looks great, man, and it gets the point across real quick. Lets people know what they are in for. Let's see. Bring this down just a touch so we can see a bit more. Oliver says our trailer's still taboo. Not around here, Ollie. Not around here. We like trailers around here. Like I said, it gets people excited about the story and gets them ready for the adventure that they're about to go on. Motion comics could still be used, just have to change the perception of the market. Well, that's always the thing, isn't it? Okay, so Hellstones #1 picks up right where the issue 0 left off. Now, do people need to get the 0 issue in order to understand what's going on?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
And that was important to me.
Yeah.
That you're able to just jump right in on book 1. There is a little bit of a flashback moment in book 1, so it gets you caught up on how she got to where she is. But I definitely urge you to pick up book 0 because you get a lot more of that lore and you get a lot more of that feel for the main character, Sam.
Right. Now, is issue 0 going to be available on the campaign?
Absolutely, issue 0 is available on this campaign.
Right on.
As of right now, I have enough to fulfill this campaign for sure of book 0 first print runs. Ooh. So I haven't burned through first print runs quite yet. So if you're back in the campaign and get a physical copy, you're still getting a first print run.
Well, if you're looking to get, if you missed out on the first one and you're looking to get book 0, then you want to go ahead and back this while you can before they are all gone. So there's the main cover, and that's the interior artist that did the main cover.
Yeah, that's Epilo Sipol, who did all the line art of the book, and that's my colors on there, of course.
Of course. It's good shit, man. Looks good. A world of power, faith, and corruption. I mean, if that doesn't grab your attention, then maybe you don't like supernatural comics. But even still, you should check this out because this is a fun one. It's a very believable world. I enjoyed issue 1 quite a bit. It was cool to see her in action and to get a little more backstory and lore about what these stones actually do. I really like. I mean, you did this in issue 0 as well, but the little breakdown of what each of the Hellstones actually does and how it affects the wielder of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also gave them names finally, too.
Yes, I noticed that. Because in issue 0, they didn't really have names. They just had kind of a description.
Yeah.
But now they've got names, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then you get to see which one she has and the effects that it has on her, which is pretty damn cool. Yeah. Rushbrook says, hey, it looks like you got another backer.
Hell yeah, love to see it.
That's what we like, man. We like it. We appreciate you guys backing the books, especially during the shows.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, it is funded and did get funded in 40 hours, and I'm absolutely grateful for that. To be honest, I am still operating at a loss. So anyone that can back this, I would be forever grateful. Mm-hmm. My main goal with this campaign and why the campaign goal was set where it wasn't set to for me to recoup everything I put into this. It was to ensure that I can get everything printed, get everything packaged, and get everything shipped and get copies out to people. Everything beyond that, of course, helps me recoup and go into the next book. So definitely, if you're interested, check it out.
Well, I mean, the reason why a lot of indie creators make comics is because they fucking love comics. Absolutely. They have stories they want to tell. Having a story that just keeps knocking around in your head and needs to be told and won't leave you alone until it is told, that's the best reason to tell a story. I mean, that just shows that it needs to be gifted to the world. It needs to be put out there. But, you don't jump into making comics because you think you're going to make $1 million. I mean, every now and then you have lightning in a bottle, like the Ninja Turtles, like the Crow, certain things that really, strike a chord. But, I mean, you do this because you love it. You do this because you love the medium, you want to tell this story, and you want to make a comic book.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's definitely a labor of love, that's for sure.
Well, and I can tell going through the story, I can tell, with the characters and the interactions and the world that you're building, that this story means something to you. And I read a lot of, I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Because if I'm going to sit down and read something, and I know you guys have heard me say this, it's going to be a comic book because comics are visual. You got to look at them. An audiobook I can listen to while I'm, driving, while I'm on my, on a road trip, or while I'm mowing the lawn, doing the dishes, what have you. And this, were you to do this as a novel, it would fit firmly in the urban fantasy setting, kind of like, the Dresden Files or something like that. It has that feel to it, and I fucking dig it, dude.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, the story I wanted to tell is definitely The world of Hellstones is very much similar to our world, just exaggerated and blown out of proportion.
Absolutely. And here you get to see Sam in action, taking the fight too. After years and years of keeping a low profile and staying under the radar, she's now jumping into the fray, and that's the reason why the name of the book, Into the Fray.
Into the Fray.
Yep. So what were some of the influences that you were pulling from? I mean, obviously mythology. You like supernatural stuff. Is there anything specifically, or is it just all of your general interests?
No, it's everything. I mean,
Okay.
we're all products of our environment and our cultures, and that's exactly what this is. It's just kind of a love letter to just everything that I love.
Yeah.
I didn't pull from one thing in specific. I just wanted to throw a little bit of everything that I like in there.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I mean, I wrote this for myself. Like what I think would be really cool.
Yes.
And that's what I did. I'm just stoked that other people like it too.
Well, man, you gotta write to entertain yourself, and if you're having fun writing it and you're entertaining yourself, more likely than not, you're going to find other weirdos out there that are going to dig the same thing, and they're going to come along on the ride.
Yeah.
Seth says it's something new that people haven't seen yet.
I hope so. I hope so. I really wanted to tell something that I hadn't seen before. That's for sure.
It also kind of reminds me of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like the TV show.
Sure.
And this panel in particular. I mean, she definitely looks like some of the Buffy comics that I've read in the past. Now, I mean, people can dog me all they want. I don't give a shit. Like the season 2, 3, and 4 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer are some fucking solid TV.
Yeah. It's one I never watched. I'm sure Ashley would love for me to sit down and watch them with her, though. You talk about how this is a character-driven story. Yeah.
That show is immensely character-driven. I give modern writers a lot of shit, and deservedly so, for adopting Whedon speak. The reason why it worked in that show, and it usually doesn't work outside of it, is because it was specific to those characters and that setting, and the humor worked for that show. It doesn't work in everything. Not everybody speaks like that. Right. It was a specific time in TV, and it was, it worked for that show. But the supernatural elements, the horror elements, the character interactions, the character, just depth, the character arcs that each one goes through, I really think you'd get a lot out of it.
It sounds like it. It sounds like it. There's a lot of this in Hellstones as well. I mean, I've already written the entire 13-book series, so I know what happens.
Yeah.
But like the book 0 reads very much differently, is paced very much differently than book 1, and book 3 is gonna show you a little bit something different, and so on. Book 0 is pretty cerebral. It's very much just get to know the character. Here's the world that we're in. And book 1 is very, very Tomb Raider, very Indiana Jones.
Yes.
And apparently very Buffy.
Yeah. Well, there's a little bit of like Tomb Raider, Indiana Jones in some episodes of Buffy.
Yeah.
Granted, it takes place pretty much in Sunnydale because that's where the epicenter of everything is. But the investigation, the research, the figuring out this supernatural stuff. I mean, there's a little bit of that in there. The archaeology aspect. Let's see. Rushbrook says you write the comic you want to read, and others will enjoy it. Exactly, man. Feline says, "Who you calling weirdo?" You, but you're my weirdo. Ashley is all about watching Buffy. She's like, "Let's do it.
Let's do it."
I will warn you. The first season is a little slow. It doesn't really kind of hit its stride until season 2. And by the end of season 2, it is hit its stride. And going into season 3, it's going. It's firing on all cylinders. Highly recommend it, especially when they brought in Faith, says Seth. That was a character that drove the Slayer mentality. Absolutely. There's, again, a lot of character interaction, a lot of character growth. You see these characters change, and they feel like real people. You know how when you read a story and you connect with those characters and you see them grow and change and mature, and that's what you want to see in characters. You know, characters that kind of just stay static, they get a little boring, stagnant.
Absolutely. And with Hellstones in particular, I'm telling this story of Hellstones and building this lore and mythology of the Hellstones, but this series is focused on Sam. It's a character story. The Hellstones and everything else is the catalyst that motivates Sam and gives her a reason to be a character of interest.
Right.
But this is very much a character story.
Yeah, this is about a person that doesn't necessarily want to be involved in all of this, but she's kind of the only one that can do something about all of these things that are going on. And, how does she react? What does she do? How does she navigate this world? How does she make it a better place? And in this issue, you get to see more of her backstory with Gary, her mentor, which we'll scroll back up here. You can see a page here where she's talking about Gary and what he meant to her while she's on her way down to Brazil to go look for him. And that's the basic, thrust of this issue. Going on a search, going on a quest to go find the mentor, which is a classic story type. Let's see. Book 1 of Hellstones gives me the adventure horror vibe, which carries over nicely with the cover and trailer, says Seth. Yeah, you want to see the characters struggle, but you want the characters to struggle, but you also want to see them overcome. Not in a way like, oh, they had no problem with this, but you want to feel their triumph with them. You want to see them triumph over this stuff and earn that triumph, not just have it handed to them. I think that's... absolutely.
I love the idea of having the consequences feel real. I like allowing my characters to bleed a little bit for the decisions they've made.
Right, because decisions have consequences in the real world. So obviously they should in the fantasy realm as well.
Right.
But yeah, I'm super fucking excited to see where the story is going to go. So I'm here for the full ride, man. And 13 issues. That's lucky number 13. I like that. Yeah. And you've got the couple of variant covers here. Got the Fish Lee variant cover, which is pretty badass. And then you got a variant cover by some dude named Michael Rushbrook. I don't know about that. I don't know who that is, but, kid's got talent. He's... He might go somewhere in this industry. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a charity case. Some kid won a raffle. I said, "Yeah, sure, you can do a cover, kid."
Why not? No, I'm super glad that you picked up Michael to do a variant cover for you, man. He really captured the essence of this issue. Yeah, that Rushbrook guy is all right. Yeah, he's all right.
He's all right.
Shows up on topic lists, makes us all look bad, drawing awesome stuff. No, I fucking love it, though.
Absolutely. I love creating win-win situations, with all the people I know, especially in the indie comic space. Mm-hmm. My goal is to have a variant from a different person that I know that is an artist on every single book. So we'll get you in there soon.
Heck yeah, dude! I'm all for it, man. I do love drawing the sexy ladies, but I also like drawing monsters. So I'm there for it, dude.
That's right.
Rushbrook says that cover was really fun to draw. Thank you for the opportunity, Frank.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah, man.
Thanks for doing it and being available, man.
Flying Feline says, better if he liked mushrooms. Just saying. You're never gonna live that down, Rushbrook. Never. Let's see. Seth says it's like William Gibson style. It's like the William Gibson style of writing. The character has to feel like they're a real person who struggles, has emotions, and feels like a person you drink beer with and survive. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Again, I go back to the whole road trip thing. Like you gotta like these characters. You gotta want to go on this adventure with them. Otherwise, what's the point? If they're not engaging, if they're not fun to go on this adventure with, then why are you there?
Mm-hmm.
So Oh, Line Art Special Edition. Hold on. So what? This is just a black and white version?
Yeah. It's. I mean,
Wow.
it's black and white in the sense that it's inks. But I didn't do any of the
Right.
gray washes or anything like that. It's not like your common artist version to where you might have some blue lines and pencil sketches. It's just a
Right.
fully inked version stripped of all color and words. And that has to do with me being a colorist, my man.
I know. That's why I'm like, wait, hold up. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
I want anyone that is a colorist or is aspiring to be a colorist, or even if you're just a kid that wants to bust out your crayons. This is
Right.
this is the book for you. Pick
yeah,
it up,
man.
color it, experiment, play with it, scan it in so you can digitally render it if that's your jam. And then the only thing I ask is tag me in it so I can see that stuff.
Right.
That's so cool.
Heck yeah, man. And that's a great way to involve the audience as well. Get people to interact with. And that actually comes back to another thing that I love about comics is that it invites the reader to engage with. A lot of stuff. A lot of stories kind of just wash over because how sometimes when you're watching like a TV show and you kind of just glaze over and things are just happening. You don't really have to do anything. It's just you're watching a movie or something. It's just happening to you. But with a comic, you actually have to turn the pages. You have to actually engage with it, and this is another way to get the audience to engage with. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, absolutely. That, and I would love it if I got enough tags and people that are coloring it on these things, and maybe drop them in on an issue on the back, a couple back pages or something.
Yeah,
because how cool is that? If you're a young kid or a teen or someone who's never been published or thought you'd be published, all of a sudden your work is showing up in a book now. How cool is that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got to get the younger generation interested in this stuff. Otherwise, it's just going to end with us old men.
Yeah, that's right.
Old.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I ain't old. I use that term because that's the term that apparently is tagged to us now. Because we like physical media, we like books in hand. We like our video games to be on disc or cartridge or something like that.
Oh man, I ain't no spring chicken, man. I'll be 45 in a few weeks here. Man.
Oh no. I'm gonna be 43 in August, so you're only as old as you feel up here, man. As long as you take care of yourself.
Tell that to my knees.
Well, I had the caveat: as long as you take care of yourself, just take care of them knees, you'll be all right. But yeah, for readers who love Hellstones is for readers who love the occult tension of Constantine, the dangerous hunt and survival of Tomb Raider, the dark power of the darkness, and the supernatural stories driven by grit, mystery, and violent consequences. It's a great write-up, man.
Absolutely.
I like the quotes that you have in the book as well, especially this one that you start the book with. From Gary Winters.
Mm-hmm.
The moment you believe you are the one who should decide how the world is saved is the moment you start becoming its biggest threat. It really kind of sets the tone for the book,
Absolutely. That it had to be a meaningful quote, and it had to be a quote from Gary.
Yeah, and which obviously is her mentor,
right.
as you can see here. So you guys should definitely go check out the campaign. The link is in the description of this video. Go grab yourself a copy, and you get to see Sam cut loose a little bit. In the first issue, like he said, there was it was just getting to know her and like what she's doing in the world and what her point of reference is for this world. And then in this issue, you actually get to see her interact with it. You get to see her do things with it.
Yeah.
So,
this one comes out swinging. I made a promise to everybody during the last campaign. I was like, I promise you, I know I'm pitching this as a supernatural action comic, and there's no action in book 0, but I promise book 1 is going to start with that. It's just going to come running out the gate, and that's exactly what this book does.
Heck yeah, man. Let's see. Wash your hands, turn the page. Wash your hands, turn. These young kids, I swear. Damn young whippersnappers and kids and their music, and get off of my lawn. Something like that, right? That's how it's supposed to go. Rushbrook says 40 is the new 20, guys. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Noted.
You know? Well, I mean, if you think about it, people that finally found success, prime example, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Fantastic Four was a huge hit for them. They didn't do that until they were in their mid-40s.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
J.K. Rowling didn't have success with her book until, her mid-40s. So, I mean, this is the time where, the iron heats up and you got to strike while the iron's hot, and it takes a little while to get the little life experience, kind of understand the world a little bit better.
Oh, absolutely. That and, honestly, people of our generation, we don't know what we want to be when we grow up. We're still trying to figure that out.
I mean, to be fair, I always wanted to draw comics.
Sure. But
I mean, there are other distractions as well. So yeah,
absolutely. The world has changed so much in a time, and the promises of our parents and the boomers did not carry over to our generation in a way that everyone thought it was going to.
Yeah, that's true. The world that we grew up in does not exist. Thankfully, we're pretty good at rolling with the punches and figuring out new things.
That's right. Absolutely.
I mean, look what we're doing right now. We are promoting a comic book on the internet. This isn't a tool that they had back in the 80s and 90s.
You're damn straight.
And we're able to connect with people all over the world, talk to them, and people all over the world are able to get a hold of this comic. Wider reach. You still got to put in the same amount of effort. You gotta pound the virtual pavement and get things out there. But at the same time, the old methods still work, and you can use the new ones. Speaking of old methods, are you thinking about trying to get this into any comic shops at any point?
Yeah, that's something I'm trying to work on, especially once this book is done. That means I'm going to have a little bit more to offer, a little bit more of an audience built up.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely want to start looking at connecting with some shops for sure. So it's a little bit hard being stuck in, the middle of the country here in Omaha, Nebraska.
Right.
Not a whole lot going on, but we do have some great local comic book shops, and I want now that I have this book and some variants and stuff like that to offer. I'm definitely going to be hitting the conventions now that I have more to booth with.
Yes.
And that travel will hopefully open me up to some other comic book shops and stuff like that. And that's really what my focus is going to be over the next year. I think is really going to be trying to get in shops and hit some more conventions.
Awesome, man. Because shops they're really kind of taking a beating from the mainstream comics.
Yeah.
But if I've seen anything recently, it's that people are still hungry for good stories, and if you can get them in front of the right people, they're going to resonate with the story. You just got to find the people that are going to pick it up and dig it.
Right. Absolutely.
What's up, Rick? Good to see you, man.
Hey,
Thanks for
Rick.
joining us, sir. Says, sup, Frank?
Hey.
Good to see you, sir. That's awesome, man. I'm glad that you're going to be trying to get it into shops. I'm really happy to hear that you're going to start doing some more conventions. I realize that conventions are, they can be a bit of a risk. Going to conventions, they can be expensive. Travel expenses and getting the books printed, all that jazz. But being able to meet new fans and because there are a lot of people out there that don't even know about the crowdfunding scene. They don't know that comics are sold online, but they want new stories. They're hungry for new stories. Just like in the comic shop. So being able to go to conventions and introduce people to the stuff that you're making, this world that you're crafting, it's a great way to get the word out there. And if Heroes Con has taught me anything, people love checking out new books. Especially if they look like they're gonna scratch that story itch that they've been looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, Heroes is great. Ashley and I are looking to make the drive next year.
Excellent.
And booth at Heroes. I was there 2 years ago with you, and we had a blast, and I've been itching to get back. I just needed to have something to offer.
Yes, I fully understand, man. Rushbrook says, "Dude, the connections and fans you meet at cons is huge in itself." Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the networking is what you go there for.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Getting to meet other professionals and getting to meet new fans. I mean, you can have the best book in the world, but if nobody knows about it, then you're kind of stuck.
Yeah.
What's up, LD Suitor Arts? I'm sorry if I just butchered your name. I apologize profusely. This is my first year doing conventions, and I only have my first issue in hard copy. Out of all of my stickers, prints, and other stuff, it's my comic that sells the most. Yes, and that's it, man. That's fantastic to hear. But yeah, that's the thing that I've noticed as well. We were kind of talking about this backstage. I've got my sketchbooks, and people like a sketchbook. They dig an art book, but people want a story. They want comics. So yeah, that's why I'm working on having at least a 12-page preview book for Heroes next year. Probably do the black and white to start off with, and then get it colored later. Let's see. Feline says, "Yay to you making it to Heroes Con. Be fucking awesome if we could get you over in our section."
Absolutely.
Jason Rushbrook and I were talking about just taking over just like a block at Heroes Con, just us and all of our fucking homies.
That would be so sick.
That would be amazing. I'd love that.
The FOMO was real this year, seeing everybody get together. I was so upset.
Yeah, it's real, man. It's real, and hopefully it'll get to the point where this is profitable enough that you can do more. Do local conventions around you and go to some of the bigger shows. That's kind of what I'm aiming for as well. I want to be able to do local stuff around me down here in Florida, and then local stuff near Feline up in South Carolina. And just build out from there, man. Gotta build that audience.
Right.
Rick Saylor is asking, who's the artist on this book, Frank?
Yeah, the line artist on this book is Epilose Pull, and then I am the writer, creator, and colorist on this book.
That's right. And then here's the if you didn't get to see it before, Rick, there is the main cover for Hellstones issue 1. And then we got a couple of variant covers down here. One by this up-and-comer, Mr. Michael Rushbrook, right here. 1B, and then the 1A variant cover by Fish Lee. So any chance that these would end up being prints? Because these are both really awesome images.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's something that I'm going to offer down the line. Or, maybe we'll add in some stretch goals here. I did announce a stretch goal. Once we hit 2,000, I'll put out a 6x9 mini poster that is unique to Hellstones, and maybe some new lore dropped in that image. But maybe we'll do something in between that 2,000 mark in here. Maybe we'll do like an 1850 goal and offer prints of these variants.
Heck yeah. Get to hang out with Frank and Ashley too. Heck yeah, that's right. Seth says conventions are the concerts of the print media. It's where you really hit the fans hard and build true rapport with them. It's the one-on-one connection that makes or breaks a story. Well, that one-on-one connection, because being able to talk to somebody via the internet is great, but being able to meet somebody in person, shake their hand, look them in the eye, talk to them, that and being excited about being there, that's contagious. Getting that, because it builds on itself, and getting people excited about comics again. Hell yeah, that's what I'm all about, man. I want more of that. Feline says it only works for us because my son lives there. Honestly, yes, that is a huge help.
That is quite the boon.
It is. Not only do we get to hang out with Bladen and Chris,
get a place to stay.
Yes, exactly. And we have people that live there that can take us around to cool stuff and check out delicious food. We went to an Asian market the last time we were there, and it was fucking cool, dude. I found like these old school ramen noodles that I used to eat when I was a kid, kung fu noodles, and The only other place that I've been able to find them was up in Indiana when I go visit my cousins, and I was able to find them up there. But none of the Asian markets, like down here or near us in South Carolina, have them. But up in Charlotte, I was able to find them, and it was fucking awesome. They're horrible for me, I'm sure, but they still
certainly
taste like I remember. You know.
But that's what's important. You need that bit of nostalgia every now and again, you know?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Rick Saylor says, gives me Top Cow vibes. Looks good. I'll definitely have to go back and watch the first half of the show. Please do, man.
Yeah, please
Appreciate the rewatch. And after you do that, you should definitely grab the book. Grab the issue 0 as well, so you're all caught up. Got everything going on. Again, with the ramen, she's sick of hearing about the ramen. Whatever. They're delicious. I don't
Even
care.
got the eye roll on there. Jeez. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
I talked her ear off about them. That's it happens. It's all right. It's all right. I'll continue to talk your ear off about them because they're awesome. Meeting other creators at cons is amazing. I ended like a lost puppy and started hanging out with some amazing creators in a place called Topicless. That's right.
That's right.
That first year, the year that you were there, met Rushbrook actually at the Saturday kind of after hangout at the bar.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep, he was sitting there, he was sketching, and I had seen his name pop up in chats here and there, and then we just started talking, and and then he started hanging out with us on Topicless, and now he's another great friend. Feline. Sucker. You're not supposed to say that out loud. Damn. Let's see. Why would you go to that weird corn-fed place called Indiana? Weird people live there. Well, that explains a lot about me. I'm from Indiana, so yeah. And Ashley says I wouldn't miss it. Heck yeah. Conventions are great, man. I'm happy to see more and more of the indie sphere that has been like crowdfunding here make it out to conventions. Getting to talk to people, getting their books out to people outside of this this little section of the internet, because comics is a niche market. Indie comics is a niche within that niche.
That's right.
And then crowdfunded indie comics is a niche within a niche within a niche. So I mean, it's pretty small, and being able to expand beyond that is a good thing. It helps get the word out there, get more people interested in the book.
Absolutely.
So, heck yeah, man. So you got 13 issues of this plan. This is the first one, and you said you've got them all written out already.
That's right. Yeah, the whole story is already written out and even storyboarded. It's just a matter of funding to get the art going for each one.
Yep.
This book was originally supposed to come out back in March. There were some production delays, some issues with the art being delivered on time, so it got pushed back to July. So I was on pace to do one book a year. And, while I love the process, this isn't a series that I want to be telling for 15 years.
Right.
So to that point, next year, I'm actually hoping to increase production to 3 books a year.
Dang, dude.
It's going to be a crazy pace, but I've got a plan, and we're going to make it happen. I'm a fan first, and I hate having to wait for that next piece.
Yeah.
I think 3 a year is a good pace for a release for people, so they don't forget about it in between books. But yet I'm also not oversaturating people by doing something too quickly. But and also to that point, I already have all of the line art for book 2 already in hand. I'm actually starting to flat on it right now, and I'm hoping to release that come November.
Right on, man. All right, pushing forward. See, that the thing about it is getting the ball rolling is always the most difficult part, but once you get it rolling, all you got to do is just keep it rolling, and you keep on moving. A body in motion stays in motion, right?
That's right. At least until the funds dry up. So back So
Well,
back people.
that's why we need to do the crowdfunding. Back the book so we can keep getting more of this story, because it's a story that needs to be told, and it'll be a lot of fun for you guys along the way as well. Pale Rider starting more rumors. He is the internet rumor mill of this section. Luke groomed Rushbrook, confirmed. And Rushbrook says he still hasn't managed to get me to eat mushrooms yet. The word doing a lot of heavy lifting in that statement is yet. Yet. Yeah. And yeah, see, I'm leaving that up to her. She's good at getting people to eat things that they don't like. She got me to eat sauerkraut. I'm not going to eat okra though. Never.
No?
I don't like okra. It's slimy.
Yeah,
She keeps saying that she's going to cook it some way that it's going to be, I'm going to love it and it's going to be awesome. I have my doubts, but she is a fantastic chef. So
yeah. I feel like I've eaten her food because I see pictures of her food all the time.
Yep.
But one of these days, when I'm visiting, I'm definitely gonna have her cook for me. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, and she would. I'm sure she would love that. She loves making good food. Yep. See, Rushbrook says, "Yo, having the whole story already written is huge.
Yeah,
it's half the battle. You know."
Right.
Yep, and then just making sure the artist gets paid to take care of it, then you're good to roll, man.
That's right. For me, I wasn't even willing to start production on Book Zero until I had the entire story written. I know me, and I know how my ADD works, and I knew in order for me to lock in and really commit, I had to have the whole thing done.
Yes.
That's not to say that things don't change and I don't pivot or rewrite as the process evolves from book to book, because that's just a thing that happens. But yeah, it's all locked in.
Heck yeah, man. Tokame says comics and games is a very niche market that surprisingly work in tandem with one another. They can, for sure. Yeah. And all of it began with indie creators. This book feels like a love letter to all things indie. Love it. Heck yeah. Well, like he said, he's a fan first.
That's right.
You know. And Feline says she would love to cook for you.
Oh,
yep.
Thank you.
Get you to come to South Carolina and hang out for a little bit and get some good home cooking, which is what I always end up with whenever I go visit her. Food is always delicious. 4th of July was a lot of fun. Grilled corn, grilled sausage, grilled steak, and then some pickled onions. She actually cut up a bunch of onions and pickled some onions, and like red onions, and sent them home with me, along with some slaw. Now I am not a coleslaw person, but the way she makes coleslaw, I absolutely fucking love. It is delicious. So I'm trying to not eat all of the pickled onions and coleslaw that she sent with me. I'm trying to met it out just a little bit so that it lasts. Yeah. Seth says Luke just has to get you to eat the right kind of mushroom. Yeah, the kind that opened your third eye and help you see the 5th and 6th dimension. Yeah,
kind of feed your soul.
Exactly. Until I say we're going out tonight. Yeah. Well, it's like me having to go pick up other comics. I got to pick up other comics to see what's out there. You got to do your research. It's called market research. You got to try new things and except for okra, not going to do it. Even though she says I will love it. Okay. Yep. But the book looks fantastic, man. It's a really fun story. I really enjoyed reading because I went back and I read issue 0 and issue 1 before the show tonight, and it really flows together really well. And I'm looking forward to seeing where this story is going to go, because the first issue is definitely a ramp up from the 0 issue, and I'm certain that issue 2 is going to be even more of a ramp up, and it's just going to keep building from there. Like I said, it definitely has that urban fantasy feel. And urban fantasy is one of my favorite genres. I love that. The way the supernatural world interacts with the current modern world, and how it kind of lurks around the edges and creeps in sometimes, and explains some of the weird shit that we see sometimes.
Yeah,
I love stuff like that.
Yeah, that's sprinkled throughout this entire thing. Hell, it's in the trailer, man.
Yep.
You see Zeus, Napoleon, Genghis Khan, Cleopatra. So it also kind of lends itself also to, some alternate history or something like that as well, which is always a lot of fun.
Yes, it is. It really is. Love alternate history stuff. It gives a different perspective on the world that we live in, which is, what stories are supposed to do.
Right.
Rushbrook asks, Frank, are there any comics that helped inspire Hellstones?
Yeah, absolutely. I said earlier a little bit, but things like The Crow, most definitely, like the emotional weight and then some of the supernatural stuff that's in there, most definitely.
Yeah.
Sandman was definitely huge.
Yeah.
The character development in Sandman and the mythology that's built around everything. The mythology that's in Sandman it's kind of loosely based on other things, but quickly became its own thing.
Right.
And I definitely have that in this book. So it really is kind of a love story to all the stuff that I love and grew up with, and it's not just comic books. I mean, all media.
Yep. Just stories. Again, that supernatural stuff, man. It's always been fun in fiction and literature, just because as the old saying goes, truth is much stranger than fiction, and I fully believe this world is a lot stranger than we are led to believe, and our fiction allows us to explore that. But yeah, dude, super excited to see that you got this book coming out. I'm so damn proud of you for getting it funded within the first 48 hours. I can't wait to see just how high you can get it, so that you can keep making these books. And like I said, I'm here for the full run. This is going to be fun. Now, once you get all 13 issues out, you're going to collect all together in like an omnibus, you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think the way that I have the story written out, I think every 3 or 4 books, I'm actually going to slap together a trade volume.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then, of course, once it's all done, you've already gone that far. You might as well just do the omnibus.
Absolutely. And I mean, people like having a chunky book.
Oh yeah.
When I worked at the comic shop, we would sell a lot more trades than the floppies. The only problem with that is the floppies need to get funded.
Yeah.
So that they can get made, so that then we can have the collected edition.
Yeah.
There's steps that need to happen in order for things to get made.
I'm notoriously that guy. Like the Last Ronin, for example.
Right.
I luckily, I had faith that the whole story was gonna get told and we'd get a trade. It was
right.
Pretty obvious. So I was like, you know what? I'll just wait and I'll get the trade. That way I can just sit down and marathon my way through it.
Yeah. See, I've been there as well, but at the same time, I've got so many like floppies, so many comics, so many boxes. Mm-hmm. I'll sometimes, and because the stack is, never ending, I'll hold on to the single issues and then I'll just sit down and read them all at once. One of my favorite things to do is just take a bunch of issues and read them back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
It reminds me of being a kid and, picking up a bunch of books, picking up back issues and then being able to fill in this chunk of story, So I love that. I mean, and I get the whole like binging a whole chunk of a story. But yeah, I'm glad that people still make floppies. It does my heart well to see floppies. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I grew up. Maybe it's just the thing that I love. But I do enjoy having the single issues to thumb through, because there are little extra things that you don't get. One of my favorite indie books, Poison Elves. It had the starting note. And Drew would talk about things going on in his life. He'd be interacting with his readers,
right?
And then you have the death threats in the back, which are the letters that people would write in. You don't get that in a trade because it's just all the stories put together. And yes, it's cool to be able to see the whole thing all in one. And I have the trades as well. But being able to see it, floppies to me kind of it places it in a moment in time. And then you get to see the stuff around that moment in time, and it adds verisimilitude to the book that you're holding in your hands. And that's the kind of stuff that I love.
That it also does build the anticipation.
Yeah,
because you're more than likely left on a cliffhanger, and guess what? Now you get to sit with that you get to sit with that until the next one comes out. There's something to be said for that too.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Wow, you guys are just kind of going off over here. And getting stranger. Yes, the world is definitely getting stranger. Good Stuff says, congrats on funding in 48 hours.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
What Good Stuff said. He also said he likes a girthy book. I bet you do, buddy.
I bet you do.
You like a girthy book too, Feline? You just like saying girthy. Yeah. Yeah, it's floppy is what I heard. Oh, Lord. I knew that was coming. Yep. Yep. Let's see. Is there a pledge for people that want to purchase multiple copies of the book? Asked Seth.
Yeah, absolutely. There's add-ons of absolutely everything available. So if you want to get multiple copies or you want to get different copies, it's all available, absolutely. And then, of course, on checkout, once the campaign ends, you're going to have a final opportunity for final add-ons there as well.
Nice. Tokame says it starts floppy and over time. Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, floppy girthy is a conundrum. Well, it's a girthy floppy, and they do have those. Yeah, LD is having a great time with this conversation.
Sure.
Good. Well, it's awesome. But yeah, we got to have the floppies first before we can have the collected edition. You got to have the single issues before you can have all of the collected books together. So yeah, so we've been going for about an hour and 12 now.
Oh, wow, cruising.
Yeah, well, I mean, dude, whenever we have a conversation, the time just flies by.
That's true.
I always enjoy these conversations. We always have a good time. Clearly, the chat is having a good time as well.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys being here. Is there anything else that you'd like to say about Hellstones before we wrap this one up?
Man, the underlying question of the entire series, or not question, I guess quandary is, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yup.
How much of yourself or your morals or your values are you willing to sacrifice for what you perceive to be the greater good?
Yeah.
That sounds interesting to you. Check it out. You won't be let down.
Absolutely. Rushbrook says, what do you mean? It's felt like 15 minutes. Good conversations always do, man. Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah. Well, thank you all so much for coming to hang out here. Frank, always a pleasure talking with you, man. I am super excited and stoked for you, and I can't wait to see where you go with this series. And I hope all of you out there will join in on the book, and go ahead and hit that link in the description. Go grab yourself a copy. Grab a couple of copies and send them to your friends that you think would enjoy them. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much, and remember,
Shop smart, shop S-Smart.